Are you able to record?
Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
it works.
All right, so Himanshi, let's walk through the process of if we have a new client, a new startup client, we want to add a new project for them, and we want to add a new user and give them the proper roles so they can see the right things. So I assume where I
Right.
should go here is I should go to my disable.
Can you please screen share just?
Yeah, can you allow me to screen share? I need to have
Sure,
the
sure.
rights to do that. I think it's not
Yeah,
very.
done.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So again, I'm going to start out by looking at the overall community that we have. So we have a parent community, which is the globe at the top, where we have a boatload of lots of stuff, which most of it will probably be
Um,
deleting, right?
I still can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't. Let me go back
Let
to
me just
that.
make you a host. One
Stop
second. Yeah.
presenting.
Can you try now?
Oh, I know what I'm doing. Maybe yeah, let me try it again here. So sharing
Yeah.
my screen is,
There's a share screen option and
oh
just
yeah,
share
there
your
it is.
full.
Yeah, I see it. Okay, so
Yeah.
again, so we're gonna take a look at the community. We can see up at the top, we have this uh,
Parent community.
parent community, which has like a lot of stuff as kind of demoable, but it's just a placeholder. And then we have these other um, project
Cohorts.
cohorts. And within a
Yeah.
cohort, this is where groups of people or individuals can come in order to see the same stuff. So for example, a client startup project of ours could have multiple people in this project from their company or from our company. And this would be the activities, the types of tools that they would use for their work with us. There's a second
Correct.
example of a project two, which doesn't have anything in it. And this is what I want to have filled out so it looks similar to this first one that we have. And then we'll have two separate startup projects. Another example would be we have a startup group. Now, a startup group is something which both of these two startups might want to be a part of. It's something which they could cooperate in. And so lastly, there's a cohort here for corporates. And likewise, these guys would have their own channels and their own things. And then most likely this would be where multiple corporate executives could come together, even from different companies, and have similar experiences inside of the platform. So now we're going to talk about how to set up a user and give them the proper roles so that they can, for example, see the startup project and also the startup group. So
Right.
Himanshi, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So number one is in order to kind of give access to anybody for any specific, say, group or cohort, number one, we create a specific role for each one of them. Now, if I want someone to have access to, say, two groups at the same time, I simply have to give them the roles of both the group. Let's
Okay.
say start project one and startup project two.
Yes.
So that is one thing. And now when I want to add those people, in the sense when I want to invite them to the community, the only thing that I have to do is go to the parent community at the top, then go to the settings tab of the parent community. And there you will find the invites system, which is the fifth tab. And apart from the invites, we have like an option that says generate new invite. Just click on the generate new invite. Now give this a link name, which is basically to identify which role we are giving out. And let's say 5 people are able to access it. Plus the expiry can be set up to at least a month or so, because yeah, just to be on a safe side. So now the main catch is that the roles assigned is where you kind of put the main role of any cohort or group that you want to
Okay.
give access to,
Understood. So
right?
in this case, actually, we need to go and create two new roles for these two new startup projects because each of those
Correct,
startup projects would need to have its own role, correct?
correct, correct.
Okay, so if we go into
So,
manage roles and we say, um, where do we add the new role?
so basically, in manage roles, you get to see the roles you already have.
Yes.
and you are able to alter those roles. But now in order to create new roles, just go to the left and scroll down to the bottom. Yeah, you will find add new and you will find new role here. Just see the top ones over here, add
Yes.
new. Yeah, new
Yes.
role. So here you create any new role for a specific cohort. And let's say this is startup client. Yeah, you can give it a color to signify, and the only permission that you should give them is to invite users. But because this is a gated one, so we cannot let them invite users, so you can even untick the invite users thing. Yeah, now over here is where you alter the permissions from.
Right. And so I guess
So the document will-
startup
yeah.
one should be something which allows startups to access something. Um, shall I say
Yes.
that
So
one?
basically, we want to give access to Startup One as a channel. But talking about the cohorts, cohorts are underneath these main channels. So if you see here, Startup Project and Startup Project 2 are something we need to give access to, the groups that we were talking about, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
so how shall I
these
do it?
these are basically the categories of your parent community that you were seeing earlier. So
Oh,
here, just go to Startup Project and click on the hidden tab. Yeah, make it as visible. Yeah, and just remove all the hidden ones underneath this as well in order to make them a participant.
participant,
Yes.
like that?
Yes. So in order to kind of give them access, in order to be able to participate, comment, and all of that, you give them the participant access.
Good.
Right. Now also, this is for just the startup project one, right? Just the
Correct.
client one. So this has been done. You can just save the settings.
Okay. And so this startup project group, did you create this or did I create this? Or was it
This was
automatically
just
created?
done by me, I guess. It was just in order to show you the sort
Okay,
of demo of how to create.
I see. Okay, so I'll save the settings.
Yes, just yeah. So this one has been created. Now we can generate a link for this role. Now, in order to create another role for startup client 2, for example, you just make it as startup partner 2.
So I don't have to add any group permissions or anything like that in here for the first
See,
one?
what will happen is just click on new category
New category,
and then go back to new role just to like refresh.
new
Yeah.
role.
So you
Okay,
give it a
and
name here as
startup
startup partner
partner
2.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just scroll down to the bottom and just visible. Yeah, we don't have any categories in this one. It's empty right now. So
okay,
that's the reason you're just seeing that. So save settings, and when later on you create anything inside this, just go to manage roles and change the permissions later on.
okay, because
So
for
now
example,
if you just
yeah,
scroll back to the top to the invite system,
yeah,
the invites, no, no, on the left, go
okay,
to the left.
yes,
Yeah, and on the top. Yeah, just click on invites now. Yeah, generate new invite link. Link name again can be startup one, and maximum people that can join. Expiry a month, and click on the plus sign. Also click on allow existing members to use the link. Yeah, click on the plus sign, and over here just select startup partner one. Yep. Once this is done, just click on generate new invite link. Now you will see the attachment. Yeah, just copy this, and you can just try using this in order to join. So yeah.
okay, good. Good,
So
good,
this is
good.
done basically. That's the basic process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basic process, right? And if I was doing this for the corporate cohort and I
Right.
want
So the
to,
same thing has to be followed. You just have to go to the parent community, create a role for the corporate,
yeah,
and then just share it across as a link while you generate it for anybody.
okay. So let me try to
So
do
it's
that.
the same process.
Let me
Yeah.
try doing that myself then here. So
Sure, sure, sure.
so here I am in the corporate test cohort. Now what I want to do is I want to create a new let's see, a new role.
Role.
And
Yeah.
the new role is going to be called corporate cohort 1. And the corporate cohort is going to have access to this test cohort here, visible. And that would be
Just save the settings.
save the settings.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I go scroll up to invites, generate new invite, corporate 1, number of roles 5, month, and then I pick cohort 1, generate new invite. Okay, and I go like this, and I say okay, good, makes sense.
Yes.
So if I then am going to, in my environment, build out some additional startup projects, build out this corporate cohort, and those would be my first things I would want to do. It sounds like this should be what I need to know. Is there anything else that you think would be relevant at this point?
Sorry.
Any other ideas of things I should learn here?
I guess, I mean, this is actually what everybody does. The only thing is it'll be easier for you once I can polish out the community. If you can give me time till Wednesday next week,
And what will
I
you
can
do between now and then?
So basically, I will, number one, change your whole structure, change your aesthetics, right? And I will have to copy out the sheet. So it's just that once I'm back by Tuesday, I'll be able to finish it by Wednesday. So by then, everything will be polished. So you can actually onboard people.
That would be
And not just
great. That
that,
would be great.
then you can,
Yeah,
yeah, then you can also let me know for final touches. And I guess if you
yeah.
can give me time by Wednesday, we can wrap this up.
That would be great. So I'm gonna actually have my son configure this startup project too here.
Okay.
And also I'm gonna have him create the corporate test cohort. But I think you can go in and double check. You can just see if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
agree with how we did it. And
Sure.
then what do you think about let's see, what do you think, for example, about the parent cohort, this whole thing up here? Is this something which, because it has all of this stuff in it, which is mainly an example, but
Right.
I don't really think we'll use it as we go forward, because we'll want to end up having a more clean way of showing people what they need to see. I mean, maybe there's one user, like for example, let's say I was the user as an administrator and I wanted to see, I mean, I guess I can access everything from here because I can access all the things on the left
Right, right.
as an administrator. But do you think the way we have this designed makes sense or not?
I mean, see this again, I will have to change because it does look clustered right now and because we've decided to change to the cohort system.
Right.
So I will have to polish this out as well.
Yeah. Okay. So polishing this out then. So basically when do you think you'll work on it? Because what I can do is I can just go through here and make sure that we've captured all of the insights that we gained. Like some of these have links, like for example, this document links out to a Word doc that I created. So I can go through and I can be sure that I've stored all of these types of things in our configuration definition, that Excel spreadsheet
Right.
we're sharing.
Okay, sure.
Should I
Makes
do that?
sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And then let's see, one last concept before we drop off here. So for example, I want to do a workshop here, a 3-hour workshop. And this is the agenda. There's introductions. We're going to talk about using AI. We're going to talk about how AI can affect product development. We'll give some case studies. We'll talk, about this stuff. So if this was
Yeah.
a cohort, if I wanted to have a cohort around this, I guess I would need to create yet another cohort on the side that's like an AI workshop cohort, right?
Right.
I wanted to use that as our environment. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, again, I will have to just sit down and think of things that you can do apart from these.
Yes.
So
I mean,
yeah, that is also
the use case is basically just think of, onboarding of one person into a project like the startup project, onboarding 10 people from the same company into the startup project, and then the
right.
same
I get
thing
that. Yeah.
and then the same thing on the corporate side, one or many.
Mhm.
And I think if we do those scenarios where we are certain of what people can see and what they can't see, so we can minimize people hacking into each other's projects, then that would be great.
Right.
So
I get that.
okay.
All right. No issues.
Good.
So I'll just take some time on this. And
Yes.
then by Wednesday, I guess we'll wrap this up. So if there's anything else, just let me know.